Good morning, church. Good morning, CPAC. I am currently here at the CPAC tennis court, and this morning I would like to share to you the life and death of Uzzah. So, some of you may know kung kinsa ni si Uzzah, and some of you may have forgotten. Nakabasa mo pero nalimtan lang ninyo. Some of you lagid kaila pa nabasahan ang life ni Uzzah, but right now I will share to you kung asa ninyo makitaan nga kinabuhi ni Uzzah ug ang iyang kamatayon. Okay, so ang very short lang yun ang verses, no? Pila lang ka verses nahisgutan or na-mention ang pangalan ni Uzzah, but his death really made an impact to the Israelites and to David that time. So, makita ang iyang life sa 2 Samuel and sa 1 Chronicles. Naka-record dira. But we will read here in 2 Samuel 6, chapter 6, verse 6 to 7. Nagingon, and when they came to Napcon's thresh floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of God and took hold of it, for the oxen shook it, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and God smote him there for his error, and there he died by the ark. So, the death of Uzzah, mga igsoon, is very sudden. He just touched, ilang gihikap ang Ark of the Covenant, iyang steady the Ark of the Covenant, then God immediately smote him. God's anger was kindled, and there Uzzah died. So the question rises, many Christians napangutana ni, anong kipatay man dayon sa Ginoo si Uzzah, nga ang Uzzah's sole purpose was for the benefit of the ark of God. It was to steady the ark of God because it might fall. The oxen shook it. Medyo na outbalance ang oxen, and na shook or na outbalance, medyo hintakilid-takilid ang Ark of the Covenant. So Uzzah tried to balance it. So what was the reason? There must be a deeper reason. We know that the Ark of God is a holy thing in the temple, but there should be a deeper reason again to why did God kill Uzzah. So this morning we would study about those reasons. While this event may seem harsh and even unjust, so some of us might view this as harsh lang kayo ang Ginoo, or unjust on the surface, but there are deeper theological and moral reasons that can be considered. Okay, so we are going to study it right now. But first, we have to discuss the journey of the Ark of the Covenant before Uzzah or David took it, before David transferred it to his own kingdom. Okay, so in 1 Samuel 4, wala pa sila diri oy king. Wala pa si Saul, wala pa siya nahimong king. The Ark of God was captured by the Philistine. Makita na sa 1 Samuel chapter 4. It was captured by the Philistine during the battle at Aphek. That battle was considered one of the most gruesome war, because many people have died. Kung ato mabasa diri sa 1 Samuel 4 verse 10 to 11, And the Philistine fought, and Israel was smitten, and they fled every man into his tent. And there was a very great slaughter, for there fell of Israel 30,000 footmen. 30,000 footmen. And the ark of God was taken, and the two sons of Eli, priest Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were slain. Not just the soldiers, but also the priest nga ga-carry sa mga ark of God were also slain. No? It was very tragic. Daghang napatay. Then the ark of God was captured, including priest Eli died because of this event. Not because of he was at the war, but because he was shocked. Na-shock siya mga igsoon sa balita nga ang Ark of the Covenant is na-capture by the Philistines. I-highlight po na ako diri ang wife ni Phinehas. Si Phinehas, anak ni siya ni priest Eli nga ga-carry sa sa Ark of the Covenant. His wife was weakened by the news nga napatay ang iyang abana, mga igsoon. Na-weaken siya, and during that time she was pregnant, no? And as she gave birth to their child, namatay siya, unfortunately, mga igsoon, because she was very weak, and I don't know, maybe na-depress siya. Probably na-depress siya because of the death of Phinehas, which is very tragic. So while it was at the hands of Philistinians, mga igsoon, they were plagued, no? They experienced tragedy also because of the ark of God was in them. The ark of God was holy, considered holy to Israel, and it was at the hands right now at the hands of these Gentiles, these non-believers, mga idol worshippers. So Philistines experienced so many tragedies, plagues, death because of the ark of God. First event was when they placed the ark of the covenant beside their fish god Dagon. They tried to place the ark of the covenant beside their fish god Dagon. There was a statue for their fish god Dagon, and mabasa nato diri sa 1 Samuel chapter 5 verse 3 to 4. And when they of Ashdod arose early on the morning, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. So at the first first night nga tupad nila ang Ark of the Covenant dito sa ilang nga idol nga si Dagon, natumba ang mao nga ilang nga fish god, ang ilang nga statwa kang Dagon. So tungod kay may langit oy damage, ila kini nga gitindog pagbalik. Then another evening was spent. Pagkabuntag na sad mga igsoon, their fish god Dagon, the statue of their fish god Dagon was once again natumba. But this time, nabungkag ang mga lawas. No? Mabasa nato diri. Dagon was fallen upon his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. And the head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were cut off upon the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon was left to him. So it was shattered. Yung ato mabasa. So, they were terrified. They said nga, oh, the God of the Hebrews is more stronger than our fish god Dagon. So we should remove this ark. We should remove this ark away from our gods. And Imagine lang, I mean, na-realize lang nako, mga igsuon. They saw how powerful God is. Just his Ark of the Covenant alone was there in their presence, but and they saw how powerful it was, but it was very disappointing because they did not still believe God. They were still worshiping their fish god Dagon. They have already seen the miracles, the signs that, and they acknowledge that the God of the Hebrews, the God of the Jews, were more stronger and powerful, but they 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 set aside their the Ark of the Covenant. I mean, they put away the Ark of the Covenant because they considered it as a curse to them. No, there are times in our lives, mga igsoon, na experience na nato, nakita na nato kung sa ka-powerful ang Ginoo, but still this worldly pleasures nga anaapa sa atong mga hunahuna, naapa sa atong mga kinabuhi, ato gihapon nga palabaw, gitagaan natog labaw nga pagtagad than our God. So let's continue. After that, after the incident in with their fish god Dagon, they sent the Ark of the Covenant to Gath. This place is a Gentile place, also part of Philistine. They sent it to Gath, but unfortunately, God was against the city of Gath. And mabasa nato diri sa 1 Samuel 5:8 to 9. Nagingon diri, and they answered of let the ark of God of Israel be carried out unto Gath, and they carried the ark of God of Israel about there. And it was so that after they had carried it about, the hand of the Lord was against the city with a very great destruction, and he smote the men of the city, both small and great, and they had emeralds in their secret paths. So God again caused a great death, great numbers of death in the city of Gath, because once again this place is Gentile. They are not believers. Maybe they know or they acknowledge how powerful God is, but they still deny to worship Him. So God was against the city. Next, it was transferred to Ekron. Uh, it was transferred after Gath. They transported it to Ekron, and the people of the city cried out when they saw the ark of God. Maybe Ekron heard about the incident at the with their fish god Dagon at the city of Gath. Maybe they have heard it. That's why they were terrified when they saw the ark of the covenant was in their city. So they reacted, no, please, you are going to wait. Are you going to kill us? Is this what want to happen? So the city of Ekron cried. Nagreklamo sila mga igsoon. Okay? The ark of God was in their city. Then finally it was returned to Israel because they cannot handle it anymore, mga igsoon. It was placed at the house of Abinadab. This was written, it was said that it stayed there for 20 years. 20 years. And Saul's reign in his kingdom, he spent only 40 years. The Ark of the Covenant was not retrieved in his kingdom for more than 40 years. Imagine. So this statement is still debatable. 60 or more years. We still do not know. I still do not know. But we have to get on. Then David decided to move the ark to Jerusalem. It was finally David's time of reign, and this time Saul was already dead, so he decided to move the ark to Jerusalem. He captured Jerusalem, then he settled there. He made it his kingdom. He made a kingdom, and it was part of his dominion. Jerusalem was part of his dominion. Then he decided to carry or move the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem. So now we are going to discuss the death of Uzzah in 2 Samuel 6. So what are the deeper reasons of Uzzah's death, mga igsoon? Atong studyhan karon. First is disobeying God's instructions. This is one of the most this is one of the most disrespectful part, because they disobeyed God's instruction. As what we can read in Numbers 4:15, the Ark of the Covenant was considered to be sacred and holy object, symbolizing the presence of God. The Israelites, specifically the Levites were given specific instructions on how to handle and transport the ark, and touching it was forbidden even unto the Levites. So even the Levites cannot touch it. No? Uzzah was a Levite. Uzzah was a work at the temple. He was he was certified to carry the ark, but there was a problem. Okay, the ark was equipped with poles to be carried on the shoulder of the Levites. The sons of Kohath should not use carts, because theirs was the service of the holy things which they carried on their shoulders. It was said, as was mentioned in Exodus 25:14-14 and Numbers 7:9, that they should not make any cart for the Ark of the Covenant, because the sons of Kohath should carry it on their shoulders. That's why, as we search for pictures of the Ark of the Covenant, there was poles fixed on the side of the Ark of the Covenant, because that was purpose nga makarry siya sa mga Levites. Okay? Second reason is teaching a lesson to the Israelites. Uzzah's death may have been used as a means to teach the Israelites and future generations about the seriousness of honoring God's presence and following His commands. It also tells us about obedience and reverence. Okay? So, we have to observe reverence also, mga igsoon, when there are times like we would like to feel the presence of the Lord, but we are not observing reverence at all. So it was like a kind of disrespect. Thankfully, because of the grace of God, because of the blood of Jesus Christ, wala na yung mahitabo ka nato nga mapatay diritso because of our disobedience. Okay, so we are blessed because of the blood of Jesus Christ, mga igsoon. Next is upholding the law and order. This is talking about God upholding the law and order. The incident with Uzzah demonstrates God's commitment to upholding His laws and maintaining order and discipline among His people. It serves as a reminder that there are consequences for disobedience and disrespect towards God's holiness and authority. Okay? So, atong mabasa diri nga kadto nag-remind kanato, nag-remind sa mga Israelites nga naay consequence kung once mo disobey ka sa imo nga asa balaod sa Ginoo. Okay? So, that was one of the reason, mga igsoon, those are the reasons why God killed Uzzah immediately. Una nga reason, mga igsoon, is i-disobey ni Uzzah ang sugo sa Ginoo. The Ark of the Covenant was not supposed to be traveled using a cart. It was not supposed to be traveling driven by oxen, but it should be carried by the Levites sa ilang shoulders. This was their duty, not the oxen's duty, mga igso, not the cart. And that's the reason why there was a pole in the Ark of the Covenant para makarry nila and dili nila matouch ang Ark of the Covenant. Ang pole lang ang ilang i-touch. It was forbidden for them to touch the Ark of the Covenant, mga kaigsuunan. Okay? So second reason is to teach us a lesson, not just the Israelites. It is for us to reflect karon nga generation, mga igsuon, nga Uzzah's death means to teach the Israelites and future generations about the seriousness of honoring God's presence. No, we should not take the law of God lightly. No? Di nato marag kuan lang ba i-consider nga ipakagamay ang law sa Ginoo, mga igsoon. Number 3 is because God is upholding the law and order, He was doing what is right. No? Giingon pa, sometimes we see justice. The way we see justice is different the way God sees justice. So, it was considered just in the eyes of the Lord. All I can conclude this morning, mga igsoon, is that there are times nga kita maghimo og usa ka butang nga feel nato is right, but in the eyes of God is naa niya ang judgment. Okay? We don't have the right to judge sa ato nga mga actions, even our own actions. We cannot say that we are good because we are not God. No? We view things differently from God when we say that I am a good person, but in reality, but in the eyes of God, we are not. Why? Because we are all sinners. And these are the things that we should consider. Uzzah and David did what they want to do, what they think is right. They tried to travel and move the Ark of the Covenant using the cart, not abiding in what God commanded. They tried to do it. They are thinking, okay ra, it's okay. But in the eyes of God, my brothers and sisters, it was wrong. At the first place, they disrespected the law of God. And then, justice came. So, this morning, I am happy and blessed to be discussing this to you. May each one of us be blessed and padayon kita sa pag-alagad sa Ginoo. Pag obey sa iyang commandments, and most importantly, paghigugma sa atong buhi nga Dios, mga igsoon. God bless and more power to everyone.